So, regime leader Trump took to Twitter to basically threaten violence to anybody who protests his event that's happening in Tulsa, Oklahoma over the weekend, on Saturday, I believe. And again, uh, just the total dog whistle to his, racist white supremacist base of having this event in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which again is where the Black Wall Street massacre took place. This very productive, well-off area in Tulsa that Black people were doing really well there. Had a lot of their own businesses. Entrepreneurship was really flourishing. Just a real sense of community. Just a lot of good stuff happened. It was basically burnt down to the ground, and a lot of people were murdered, and so this is the backdrop of Trump having it there. It's really, really disgusting and disturbing. And then to add insult to injury, he's threatening violence against anybody that might protest him being there, which is just ridiculous, but again, not surprising coming from regime leader Trump. From Common Dreams. President Donald Trump tweeted Friday that, quote, any protesters, anarchists, agitators, looters, or lowlifes who gather at his rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma on Saturday would be met with a much different response than we've seen in other major cities. A message that was immediately interpreted as a threat to unleash a violent police crackdown on demonstrators exercising their constitutional rights. Any protesters, anarchists, agitators, looters, or lowlifes who are going to be in Oklahoma, please understand, you will not be treated like you have in New York, Seattle. I mean, really? I mean, has he not been paying attention to how the police, the security state, has treated people in New York? There's video after video of just police brutalizing peaceful protesters in New York, in Seattle, in Minneapolis. For fuck's sake. I mean, in Minneapolis, that is why that was the straw that broke the camel's back, was the the police murdering George Floyd, kneeling on his neck, snuffing the life out of him with his knee for 8 minutes and 46 seconds for Jesus Christ. I mean, come on. I just posted a video, or it should be uploading soon, about medics in Seattle say the police were targeting them when they were trying to save somebody's fucking life. So, I mean, the police have not been using kid gloves anywhere in the United States. So I don't know where Trump gets that ridiculous notion from. He just likes to paint it as a, those weak Democrats letting the protesters just run wild and loot and all that shit, when it's, not the case. The Democratic mayors and city leaders in Seattle, in California, in New York have, been letting the police completely, run unchecked, and they've been brutalizing peaceful protesters who were protesting police brutality. I mean, it's really Orwellian, honestly. In a speech at the White House earlier this month, Trump presented himself as an ally of all peaceful protesters and an opponent of professional anarchists. How do you become a professional anarchist? That kind of seems like a cool job. How can you get paid to be a professional anarchist? I would like to find that out. Violent mobs, arsonists, looters, criminals, rioters, Antifa. Oh my God. I mean, anybody who is parodying Trump's stuff about Antifa, you really got to stop drinking that MAGA Kool-Aid, for fuck's sake. Antifa literally means anti-fascist. The people who fought and stood up against the Nazis, those are anti-fascists. The Nazis were the fascists. The same people who stand up against, the white supremacists and their marches and rallies, that's Antifa. I mean, Jesus Christ. So if you're not supportive of Antifa, of anti-fascists, of anti-fascism, you are on the side of fascists. Trump is on the side of fascists. People who are demonizing anti-fascists are on the side of fascists. It's not that hard to understand, folks. The president is threatening violence against people who protest him. Any protesters. I mean, again, the First Amendment, freedom of assembly, right? Freedom of speech. Where's all the MAGA people and conservative folks who say the big government's trampling all over people's constitutional rights when it comes to things like firearms or whatever. Really? Silence? Crickets right now, at least be consistent in your proclamations of tyranny by the government. Jesus Christ. The president expresses his intention to violate the Constitution by denying Americans' First Amendment right to peacefully assemble. Representative Don Beyer, D. Virginia, tweeted in response to Trump's threat. Trump idolizes dictators who respond to dissent and criticism with violence. He is unfit for office. Trump's tweet came hours after Tulsa's Republican Mayor G.T. Bynum on Thursday imposed a curfew between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. for the area surrounding the BOK Center. The venue for Trump's first campaign rally since the coronavirus pandemic shuttered much of the U.S. on March. The curfew remained in effect until 6 a.m. Sunday morning. In an executive order authorizing the curfew, Bynum claimed, without offering specific details, because I mean it's just bullshit. It's just trying to stifle protests and people get it out in the streets to protest Trump. Having this rally there. That he has received information from the Tulsa PD and other law enforcement agencies that shows that individuals from organized groups who have been involved in the destruction or violent behavior in other states are planning to travel to the city of Tulsa for purposes of causing unrest in and around the rally. The ACLU, which sued Trump over the violent assault of protesters outside the White House on June 1st, vowed legal action if law enforcement attacks demonstrators in Tulsa, the site of the 1921 racist massacre. Again, the massacre on what was called Black Wall Street. Any president, mayor, or police chief who attacks protesters should understand that you will be sued like we sued in D.C., Seattle, Minneapolis, the group tweeted. You will be held accountable. Well, kudos to the ACLU for standing on top of it. So it will be very, very interesting to see what transpires at that rally tomorrow. Well, not necessarily, I don't really give a shit about that, but about the protesters, because there will be people out there, protesting, especially it's happening during all these, Black Lives Matter protests, and Trump's basically been on the right side of that. Looters are shooters, all the shit about Antifa, all that bullshit. So tensions will definitely be high. If anybody's going to that protest in Tulsa, stay safe, wear a mask, protect each other, and all power to the people. Peace. Much love.